Europe. 5th century, the mighty Roman Empire, once the cradle of civilization dominating the world, is now broken, fragmented entity, burdened by centuries of internal political struggles, economic crises, and relentless attacks from barbarian tribes. The Great Rome is now just a shadow of its former glory, and its end is inevitable. Flavius Odoacer, son of Edecod, raised in the court of the great leader Attila, brings this colossal empire to an end. After his request for land for his troops, the federates in the Roman army is denied. He leads a rebellion that forces the last Roman emperor, Romulus Augustulus, to abdicate. With his symbolic letter to Constantinople, acknowledging only the authority of the Eastern Roman Empire, Odoacer marks the end of the Western Roman Empire. In a situation of chaos, fragmentation, and the invasion of barbarian tribes, Europe becomes the stage for prolonged struggles for power. But from this chaos will rise a hegemon that will dominate the following centuries: the Church. But did this new power rising from the chaos really bring light and order? Or did it itself become a symbol of darkness and oppression? And what about those who did not submit? The resistance, the secret societies hidden in the shadows. By the end of this video, you'll have new questions you've never asked yourself. Darkness and chaos. This is what describes the Middle Ages. Against the backdrop of political fragmentation and invasions by barbarian tribes, the Church quickly becomes the only stable and unifying institution. But to solidify its power, it often resorts to repressive means that will remain in history as symbols of tyranny and oppression. Freedom of speech? Ha 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 ha! Not then! Instead of freedom, the Church imposes strict limitations on personal freedom, thought, and expression. The Inquisition, which began in the 12th century, systematically persecuted and tortured thousands of people accused of heresy or witchcraft. The methods are brutal. People are burned alive, beaten to death, or subjected to horrifying tortures, all to extract confessions, stories of atrocities, like those in Toulouse during the Albigensian Crusades, where entire cities were slaughtered under the order. Kill them all, God will know his own. Show how far the Church went in its pursuit of absolute control. The Church also controlled knowledge. It burned books and persecuted scholars and philosophers who challenged its doctrines. One of the most notable examples is Giordano Bruno, who was burned at the stake in 1600 for supporting the heliocentric model. This is just one example demonstrating how any idea deviating from the official line was violently suppressed. In 1204, Crusaders attacked and plundered Constantinople, a Christian city that should have symbolized faith, but was instead destroyed and looted, with much of the rich cultural heritage of the Eastern Roman Empire shattered. While some suffered, the Church grew richer. During the Middle Ages, this was achieved through the sale of indulgences, promising forgiveness of sins in exchange for payment. Quite the lucrative business, wouldn't you agree? But this was far from the only way the Church amassed its wealth and influence. The Church imposed a tithe, a mandatory tax of 10% on the income of every believer. These funds were used to sustain religious institutions, but also provided a steady flow of revenue to the papacy. Additionally, it was the largest landowner in Europe, holding vast estates donated by kings, nobles, and commoners who believed such gifts would secure their salvation. Church institutions like monasteries often acted as financial hubs, lending money to feudal lords and monarchs. These loans frequently came with terms that strengthened the Church's control over secular powers. Furthermore, exemptions from taxes and the strategic manipulation of wills allowed the Church to acquire wealth and lands that remained beyond the reach of royal treasuries. Through these means, the papacy established itself as a powerful economic and political force, shaping not only the spiritual lives of Europeans, but also holding significant sway over their economic resources and stability. Over the centuries, whenever it sought to extend its influence, the Church readily resorted to violence and manipulation, cementing its dominance over Europe. And so, we turn our gaze to the end of the 18th century, when the Church still holds power with an iron fist, and the world stands on the brink of immense changes. Although the centuries-old domination of religion seems unshakable, new ideas are vibrating in the air. Ideas of freedom, light, and knowledge which threaten to shake the foundations of the old power. Among them is Adam Weishaupt, whose vision will lead to the creation of a secret society that will fight against oppression and free the minds of people. Adam Weishaupt was born on February 6, 1748, in Ingolstadt, Bavaria. Highly educated and influential in the academic world, Weishaupt quickly established himself not only as a professor of canon law and philosophy, but also as a determined opponent of the Church's involvement in political and social life. His desire for freedom of thought and independence from religious dogma led him to create a secret society that would change the course of history, the Order of the Illuminati. In 1776, after years of reflection and accumulated experience, Weishaupt founded the Bund der Perfektibilisten, Union of the Perfected. Initially, the order included only 5 people. 2 years later, in April 1778, the name of the order was changed to Illuminate Norden, Order of the Illuminati, inspired by the symbol of the Owl of Minerva, which symbolizes wisdom and knowledge. Weishaupt's idea was to create a secret society to fight against authoritarianism, religious tyranny, and ignorance, offering a new form of Enlightenment thinking and values. To expand its influence, he used Freemasonry as a means to attract new members who shared his ideals. This led him to join the Masonic lodge Prudence in early 1777, with the intention of using the rituals and structure of Freemasonry to expand the Illuminati. However, Weishaupt quickly realized that the Masonic structure didn't provide the necessary political influence and radical freedom he sought. The lack of an anti-clerical and radically oriented policy led him to bring these ideas into the secret society he had created. The order quickly grows and attracts new members, including high society representatives and intellectuals. Among them are Adolf Nigge, an exceptional recruiter for the Illuminati, and Baron Franz von Nassau, who will play a significant role in expanding the order after 1780. Furthermore, there are rumors about other famous personalities believed to have been members, such as Goethe, Schiller, Leopold II, Mayer Amschel Rothschild, Gottfried von Herder, Adam Muller, Jean-Jacques Rousseau, Thomas Jefferson, Lord Byron, and others, but there is no definitive evidence of their involvement. During its existence, the Illuminati went through serious internal conflicts. These conflicts were due to differences regarding the management of the order, its rituals, and strategies for expansion. Documents from this period show that some members wanted to impose more direct and aggressive methods of influence, while others preferred more moderate approaches. Because of these disagreements, Weishaupt was often placed in a position where he had to make crucial decisions about the future of the order. Despite these internal conflicts, the Illuminati managed to expand their influence, and by 1784, they numbered about 2,500 members. The church and religious authorities, along with political institutions, began to worry about the growing influence of the Illuminati. These concerns led to serious persecution of the order. In 1785, Charles Theodore, Elector of Bavaria, with the support of the Catholic Church, banned the Illuminati. According to the official decree, the order was accused of plotting to destroy social and religious foundations. Despite the ban, the Illuminati continued to be blamed by conservative critics for manipulating major events, such as the French Revolution, the American Revolution, and the unsuccessful attempt to overthrow the Bavarian monarchy in 1785. The rituals of the Illuminati, based fundamentally on Masonic customs, have significant differences. Members go through various initiation degrees, each requiring new knowledge and dedication. The symbols of the order include the Owl of Minerva, the all-seeing eye, and various geometric signs, all reminding of the quest for knowledge and enlightenment. So, if we assume that the order, with its pursuit of enlightenment and liberation from tyranny and monarchies, is still around, has it maintained its original principles? Or have the freedom fighters been pursuing power and dominance? Interestingly, many theories suggest that over time, the Illuminati began to focus on controlling the financial and political structures of the world. The World Bank, for example, is often mentioned in these theories as one of the main mechanisms for achieving global control. But what exactly makes the World Bank so suspicious in the context of these conspiracies? Perhaps the idea of the World Bank is not as innocent as it seems. It exists to help countries in poverty, but often when a country receives a loan, these loans lead to economic dependency. Countries that cannot repay their debts eventually become economically and politically dependent on international financial institutions, which, coincidentally or not, are linked to global elites. This raises the question, could the World Bank serve as a tool for control through through which the Illuminati and other influential forces manipulate entire nations. But what about those who try to oppose this global power? One of the most interesting theories relates to John F. Kennedy, who attempted to expose and oppose the world elites. Kennedy spoke out against secret societies and mentioned that certain secret forces in the US government were linked to the manipulation of global politics. Perhaps what seems like a tragic coincidence, his assassination in 1963, is actually part of a much larger rivalry between these secret societies fighting for control. This conflict between globalists and anti-globalists fuels many of the contemporary conspiracy theories about the Illuminati. We cannot help but wonder what role figures like Franklin and Theodore Roosevelt, whose actions affected global politics in the 20th century, have in these processes. Or global stars like Beyoncé and Michael Jackson, who, according to some theories, through their influence on popular culture, play a role in shaping public attitudes that align with the interests of elites. P. Diddy, Jay-Z, Tom Hanks, even Kanye West, all of them fall within the scope of such theories about hidden connections with global powers. But are these examples just random coincidences? Is it possible that these forces are behind major events in history, world wars, and even the economic crises that shake the world? All these events, at least according to theorists, are not random but part of a strategy for building a new world order. But in the end, the question remains: what is the true goal of these secret societies and their modern-day successors? Do they really seek to liberate humanity, or are they merely creating new, more imperceptible chains that this time control even more effectively? Looking at the world today, we cannot ignore the role of technology, which is replacing faith and traditions. Everything around us, from the global financial system to the smart devices in our homes, seems to be part of a precisely built mechanism for surveillance and control. While we believe we are freer than ever, are we not more watched, more manipulated, and more dependent? The technologies that connect us also shackle us, and the price we pay for this progress may prove to be too high, the price of our freedom and souls. If the Illuminati's plan truly exists and is moving behind the scenes, isn't it closer to completion today than we have ever thought? So which fact blew your mind? Comment below and share your thoughts. Don't forget to follow for more cool facts. And if you're in the mood for more, click on the videos popping up right now. Until next time.